Okay, let's start back where. So you had just mentioned uh, Captain Marvel, right?
Yes.
All right, so let me tell you. Here's what I'm feeling about that. So Captain Marvel has been off doing her thing in the Kree Skrull War.
Hmm.
Well, like you were saying, I agree. So she's jamming out, being all awesome, and Nick Fury calls in the strongest superhero possible, and that is Captain Marvel. She is the bomb. So I think it's going to play out. We've got the OG Avengers left. They're the only ones there. So this is kind of I think Avengers 4 is their swan song. I think that they get their chance to go save everyone else um, through the quantum realm. So that's what Ant-Man and the Wasp are going to do is they're going to show off the quantum realm, kind of get everybody familiar with it. They're going to explain how to do that to all the other Avengers as well. And then Captain Marvel is going to show up and be like, "Hey, yo, I heard y'all needed help." And they're going to be like, "Oh my God, yes, please." And then she's like, "Follow me." And she's going to go and just kick the crap out of everyone. So I think she'll team up with them. I think she will be in the movie. I think that she will be a huge part of the movie. And so they're going to go in. I believe that Cap will die. I think he will actually die. Thor might die since they killed everybody else. But based off of what we talked about, they might not kill him. He just might make it might just be the end for him, but he might not die. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they killed him though. Anyways,
I think, to cut in a little bit, I think all, except for maybe Widow, I think all of the OG Avengers are up for death, potentially dying. But I don't know. I think they had, watching this movie and seeing the feelings that the creators clearly have for the characters, if anyone dies, I think it's going to be Steve. Honestly, I think Steve should die, but I could also potentially see them doing Old Man Steve, like having him age up. So he could still be around, the character could still be around for cameos, but I could see all these characters becoming mentors. I mentioned Thor being, the new king of Asgard, showing up in Valkyrie movies. I would very much like for Tony to still be around for Peter Parker, because
sure, is Iron Man a riot?
I am totally good with that. The one thing I said is like, why be Iron Man when you could be Black Panther? I mean, not that I think she's going to take it from her brother, but I don't know. They might keep her in that realm. But I would be.
Chadwick Boseman is ageless and he's beyond time himself. So he will always be Black Panther. And
I would be totally cool with Shuri being Iron Man. I think that's amazing. I'm just saying, personally, me, if I had the option of being Black Panther or Iron Man, I think I would pick Black Panther. But yeah, so I think I could see Tony dying. Again, I think Tony dying makes more sense than Thor dying, but I just don't think they'll go through with it. Honestly, I think Avengers 4 ends with Tony's wedding and everyone who's alive being happy. That's how I think it ends.
I definitely think Cap's going to be the one that dies. I don't know if they'll have anybody take up the mantle of Cap since Captain Marvel will be around. So I don't know. I mean, they could go Falcon. That's what they did in the comics, but I think it'd be weird to have captains. Captain Marvel and Captain America.
It's not that hard. They're multiple captains in real life. Like, it's not like it's fine. My thing is, I originally assumed they were gonna make Bucky the new Cap, just because, Sebastian Stan's 9-picture deal and whatever. But now that he is the White Wolf, I want him to freaking stay in Wakanda. Like, just have him stay in Wakanda. I want him to be part of the Black Panther movies. And I want Anthony Mackie to have more time because he's wonderful. And so if he became Cap, he doesn't have to get his own franchise or anything, but just let him be the Captain America rolling around. Like, he's wonderful. And I love Sam. And that's my vote. If we're voting on who replaces Cap, I vote Sam.
That's fair. I think I'd be okay with that. The more I think about it, I'll let it sit. But I want so desperately for the next phase to be the Kree Skrull War. I think it's a great way to go. If they don't do that, I think the next thing that makes sense, since they have the X-Men, is to go House of M. Or go like the New Avengers, since some of the New Avengers X-Men. Let me check on that.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Kitty Pryde is in the Guardians, or she's in the New Guardians. I don't know.
What does it say?
I definitely think Phase 4 is going to start introducing and relying on the X-Men. Like, now that they have those toys to play with, there's no way they're not going to use them.
Interesting. I mean, Wolverine's in it, technically. What about the newest one? Here we go. What does it say? Oh, dear God. People I've never heard of.
The way of
Wicked,
comics.
Hulking, White Tiger, Power Man, Pod. I don't know who those people are. I feel ashamed. But if they don't go new Avengers, they've got to keep the Avengers in some way, and it's going to be all these other characters that they have. But I think the Kree Skrull War or House of M makes the most sense. Agreed?
Agreed.
Man, I was hoping you disagree with me, but okay.
Well, you got to let me know beforehand, man. If you just want my honest opinion, I'm going to give it. If you want
No, it's good.
else.
Good. Your honest opinion is what we want.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very rare for us to agree on things sometimes. But
this is true.
I think the reason the Kree Skrull War could be so interesting, the more I thought about it, originally I was all about House of M. I thought it'd be so cool, especially with how probably like traumatized Wanda is from like seeing what the Vision like die and everything like that, having to kill him, and her just not wanting, and her brother being dead, like not wanting any of that to ever happen. I feel like it did a great job of setting up for House of M.
Also, she's so young. Like, she's gone through incredible trauma, and she's like supposed to be what, like maybe 19. Like, if anybody's gonna snap, like understandably, she would snap
for sure. But I feel like you could just do so much more with a Kree Skrull War because of just the scope of it and how it could do such a great job of meshing the like celestial and like intergalactic realm of Marvel characters with like the Earth heroes and everything like that, because I think that'd be the best way to do it. So
yeah.
Anyways,
no, I could see either.
That's all I say. Anything else you want to say about it, though? Do you think? Okay, let me ask you this: how long do you think it'll take for them to actually put out X-Men movies? Do you think they'll do standalones, or do you think they're just going to start to add them into other movies?
I think because I know Fox is releasing their Dark Phoenix and then the New Mutants movie. So I don't think Marvel's going to start introducing them. Yeah, New Mutants is the horror one. I don't think they're going to start introducing them until after that. So whenever they come out. After that, I imagine they would start introducing them into already established properties and then slowly start doing standalones. Or when I say slowly, I don't know. It might not be that slowly, but I don't think they're going to come out the gate with like an X-Men movie. I think X-Men characters are going to show up in, like, I could see Storm showing up in Black Panther, like that kind of thing, like introducing the characters and then opening up the world to the X-Men.
I just don't know how they're going to introduce them without just like throwing them right into the fire. Like, are they going to do backstories, like origin movies, like they did with everyone else? Or since it's been so worn out with all the X-Men movies that we've seen, do they even use those characters anymore? Like, do we still see like Professor X or Wolverine or Jean Grey or Cyclops?
What I would say is the way I would do it if I were running things is the X-Men are hiding because they're persecuted, like they're not wanted, they're whatever. So if it were this underground civilization that slowly the Avengers become aware of is how I would do it. And I would have it as a community that was already established. So, I mean, I know that means they don't get to play with Professor X and Magneto, or we could just have them as like in retirement like nobody knows where they are kind of thing. So if you want to introduce them later, fine. But I feel like audiences need time to move past Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen and Hugh Jackman because that was just such perfect casting.
Oh my gosh.
Also, can we just have a minute before we go back into the Dark Phoenix? I get that that's a story that people want to tell, but like it's gonna be just let's do something else for a while.
Right now? This is how much I care.
I just leave it. Poor Jean Grey. Like, stop. It's just no.
Isn't the girl that plays Sansa Stark gonna be Jean Grey?
Yeah, she is.
That's right. You can see how much I cared about the last X-Men movie with
Apocalypse was so
Apocalypse. Oh
bad.
my god.
Oh, it was so bad. It was
And Olivia
painfully
Munn, like, oh god.
bad.
Oh, that movie.
Oh, it took Oscar Isaac and made him intolerable. Like, what were you doing?
How
How
do
did
you
you get
mess up
there?
Apocalypse? Let me just ask you that.
It was so upsetting.
God.
They didn't.
This is why Fox just needs to give it up. That's just
They have. They sold it.
they just no. They just need to cancel everything else they got and just be like, here you go, just take them.
Yeah.
Do you think Disney will touch Deadpool? Because
Um,
think about it. Disney doing an R-rated film would be mind-boggling. They've
I
never done
think,
one, have they? I don't
well,
think so.
not as Disney. I mean, I think Disney owned Miramax. I don't know where I'm pulling that out of.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think they would let Deadpool movies continue to be made because there's money on the table and Disney's not going to let that go. But I don't know that they're going to try and incorporate him into the MCU just because, as much as these movies have ostensibly matured, like people still bring their 6-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to bring Deadpool into a movie that's for 6-year-old kids. Like don't do that. That's not, you're gonna ruin everything. Stop it.
So they don't bring him into the other movies. Do you think they continue to make Deadpool movies, or do you think they just let Fox be like, yeah, continue doing it? It's pretty good. It's more
Um,
than pretty good. It's freaking
I
awesome.
think I think I mean, how many more Deadpool movies are we expecting though? Like if
Well,
we
think
do
about it.
a
It sounds like they're doing the
trilogy,
X Force now because I feel
they're
like
doing
it would
what?
be the X Force. The X Force.
No. Well, I don't know. Like I don't think they'll, if they bring him into Disney movies, I think it's going to be a very different character. As
I
far
agree.
as the Deadpool that Ryan Reynolds is doing, I could see them doing a third movie,
Mm-hmm.
possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, if they do bring Deadpool in, it's going to be like a sanitized. Like they brought Deadpool in on the Disney XD Spider-Man cartoon. They
Yeah,
had
that's where I
Will
thought they were going to go
Friedle.
with it.
They could make him like that, which is a very different iteration of the character than what we're seeing. But like they still used him; he's still present.
Yeah, I think they would use Deadpool to make a TV show. Definitely kid friendly, not not Ryan Reynolds Deadpool.
No.
But that's what I think they would do. I just I don't know how they're going to introduce the X-Men, and it bothers me so much because I want to know,
I
and
have faith.
I want to see new ones. Like I think it'd be so cool to see Iceman. I wish they could do Legion, but with a TV show, they probably won't.
They're not gonna mess with Legion. That show's
No.
really, at least critically successful. They're not gonna mess with that.
So, well, that's my thoughts on it. So,
Yeah.
anything else you want to bring up in regards to the movie? Thoughts,
I think
concerns,
there was
questions,
something.
soapboxes?
Oh no, I'm good.
No.
Anything I
Okay.
bring up was going to be another long discussion. This has been long enough. It's good. This pretty much covers most of my thoughts.
So I asked you earlier. I don't know if anybody else has heard of this, but there's these two like mobile games. They're called Marvel Puzzle Quest and Marvel Strike Force. Um, Puzzle Quest is like a Bejeweled style, or don't you play like Emoji Blitz for Disney?
I do play Disney
Okay,
emoji blitz because I am Disney garbage.
no, you're not Disney for life.
Exactly.
Anyways, if for those of you that don't know, I'm wearing a Stitch shirt right now. So
It's so cute.
he's my homeboy. Um, Marvel Puzzle Quest is like that style with like the puzzle game or whatnot, but like you collect characters, like Marvel characters, but they're in forms of comic book covers. So it's like old school ones, like new ones. It's really really cool. Like you collect them and level them up, and
I'm gonna
then
have to play this. I don't. I'm already. Keep going. Keep going. It's
Marvel Strike Force is one where you like can like collect heroes. It's newer, but like you collect heroes and you make like a team and like you fight other people. Like there's a
okay.
story that you can do and like there's like it's easy because you just can put there's like an auto mode and they'll just fight themselves and like you just level them up and like give them like equipment and stuff and upgrade their skills. But like you collect these orbs and you to unlock like chests so that way you can get new heroes and they added a bunch of heroes like right now there's an event going on so you can get Thanos. He's like a tank. It's pretty cool, but yeah, I figured you might like one of those, and anybody else that hasn't heard of
Marvel.
them, go check them out. They're awesome.
Yeah, I might have to check out Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Disclaimer:
I
we are not
don't.
sponsored by either of those games.
Yeah, no, we wish. No, I don't play games. And literally, I have Disney Emoji Blitz was like the only thing on my phone for so long. And then the Harry Potter RPG mobile game just dropped, and I've been playing that, which it's like, it's not as far as game. I know so little. I'm like, as far as gaming, this is probably pretty lame, but I'm just so happy to like have my little character that looks like me with her ponytail walking around in her Ravenclaw robes. Like, it's like, I'm just happy to be here. So I'm probably going to have to
We'll
download
get you
this.
loving games. I guess we'll spend these last few minutes kind of telling everybody, like, yes, we love superheroes, we love movies, we love
Yes.
Infinity War, Avengers, all of it, but we also love everything else that's geeky, like
Hmm.
anything Disney, games.
Disney, different TV shows.
Oh my gosh, we're going to talk about so many TV shows, books. Emily is a
Yes.
huge bookworm. I am
Yes.
learning to become a bookworm, courtesy of her and Audible.
Audible is the best.
Oh, it really is. So there's so many things that we want to talk about, and we just love that we are so excited to share with everybody. So be on the lookout for the Geekeria to drop, hopefully once a week. Right? That's what we're doing. We're doing it once a week. Not hopefully.
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good with the schedule. I'll be here.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that. But thank you all so much for listening. Em, any parting thoughts? Any words of wisdom that you want to part?
No, this was really fun. I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm looking forward to doing more. Hopefully we'll, or not hopefully, but I'm assuming in the future we'll have more of a segmented layout, but this was just us gushing about this movie that we were so excited for. That's been 10 years in the making. It's crazy.
Yeah. Check us out on Twitter as well, the Geekeria podcast. We'd love to hear like feedback of like what we could do to like talk about things that you think that would be really cool for all y'all to hear about. We'd love to create a community around all the things that we love. That's why we want to do this. Just talk about everything that we love. So also you can find us there to hear more about like what we're going to be doing when it comes to like supporting us through Patreon in the future, or I think we're going to try and do some YouTube videos also. So you can find everything there starting on Twitter. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening, and be on the lookout for the next one that's going to drop probably here in a couple weeks. But Em, that was some wonderful words of wisdom. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But we'll talk to you later. Take care.
Bye.